welcome to the Great Margarita Hunt. I'm Jenny, and I'm on the hunt for the very best margarita in the whole world, and I'm doing this one margarita at a time. And along the way, I'm meeting some great and very interesting people who are telling me about their favorite margarita or their interesting margaritas that we can try, as well as we go out and try it in different places that you recommend to us. So today, I have Ryan and Morgan with me, and I want to introduce you to them. They are a guy, a girl, and a trail. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Yes, you did.
I got that right. Good. Welcome to the Great Margarita Hunt. How are you?
Thank you so much. Doing great.
I saw this recipe. Well, actually, I was posting and you responded with your favorite margarita recipe, and I was just blown away and thought, I have to try this. But it's pretty involved. It has a lot of different liquors, some of which I've never tried, and I thought I need help putting this together. So thank you so much for joining us and helping me figure out how to make this margarita.
Oh, yes. This is our favorite thing to do, and it has some of our favorite things to drink in it.
Great. Well, I'm excited. Now, you were a big help helping making sure I could get to this today, because that mezcal was hard for us to find. We found the same brand, but boy, we had a really difficult time finding that particular bottle. So thanks so much for your help getting that here to us.
Yeah, they have quite a few different versions of this Cross of Fire.
Yeah, they do. And mezcal's a new thing for me. I've tried different mezcals, and I wasn't a big fan initially a few years ago, but seems like the more I try it, or maybe I'm trying some better mezcals, maybe that's what it is. Seems like I appreciate it, but I had never thought to mix it the way we're going to do today.
Yeah, mezcal's interesting in the sense that it's not nearly as regulated as tequila. So the flavor profiles in mezcal are all over the board. Some are super smoky, some have no smoke at all. We tried one the other day that tastes like a combination of mint, blue cheese, and gym socks.
I don't
it's
need
all
to
over
have
the
that one
place.
ever again.
That's funny. Well, how did you come up with the name A Guy, a Girl, and a Trail?
Well, I'm the guy, she's the girl, and we like to spend our free time on trails. So
Okay.
We're
That was
out
a
here in
clever-
Colorado. Love spending as much time up in the mountains as we can, and he has a great truck to be able to take out and take into the mountains. So that's how we spend a lot of our free time, and we always make sure that we have a good bottle of tequila with us.
yeah, it kind of got started. I like photography. That's always been a hobby of mine. And again, with our Forerunner, we have propane. There's heater on it. There's way for cooking. There's a tent up top. We have running water, solar power. I mean, we can be off the grid for a few days at a time. And when we started A Guy, a Girl, and a Trail, it was kind of for our own memories, just kind of documenting our trips, kind of, telling the story behind it, to be able to share that with friends, family, that sort of thing. People seem to enjoy it, so we kind of made it into a social media thing and, share what we do.
That's awesome. Well, I've just started following you, and I've certainly enjoyed it already, and was great meeting you. I'm really excited about this margarita, this A Guy, a Girl, and Trails margarita. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the ingredients. We have a side shot here that we can put up so everyone can see that a little bit. Obviously, there's some limes. And now I know on your screen, we see the bottles more fully, but these may be close up. So why don't you just tell us what's inside of it, and I'll kind of point to those bottles.
All right, so being a margarita, the base is tequila, which we use Tapatio 110. It's a high proof that does not drink like it. Next to that, we have, I'll let Morgan say this one. The name's in Spanish, but it's basically Cross of Fire.
It's Cruz de Fuego.
Cruz de Fuego. Okay.
Then we have Cointreau, which is an orange liqueur.
Oh,
We have Nicta, which is an elote liqueur, which is basically sweet corn. The Mexican sweet corn liqueur. Agave nectar versus syrup.
got it. Whoops. Is that, whoa, we're going to do bitters?
Yep, we have the Aztec chocolate bitters. We have Grand Marnier. We use the blue label one for a float, which basically has a slightly higher content of cognac in it versus the red one.
Yes.
A little bit of some wine.
Awesome. Let's pull it back. Wow, that is, and the Nixta, I never heard of it before. So this is really great. I'm trying a lot of things I've never tried before. Of course, I've had Grand Marnier before, but I've never had this one. So it's a perfect combination of things to enjoy today and then and in the future. So I'm ready to get started. Let's get started.
All right. We'll start with the limes. I think Morgan will go ahead and cut those for us.
While she's cutting those, do you want to tell us about the recipe? I forgot to put the recipe up. Let me put that up, and you can tell us what we're going to, the amounts.
Sure. So we use fresh limes. We are going to strain it twice. 2 ounces of lime juice. We use 2 ounces of the Tapatio 110. We use 1 ounce of the Cross of Fire Espadin Mezcal, an ounce of Cointreau, and then a bar spoon, which is basically a teaspoon. And, a teaspoon of the agave nectar and the corn liqueur, a dash of the chocolate bitters, a pinch of salt, and we shake and strain. Once we pour it over some fresh ice, then we top it off with a Grand Marnier flush.
Okay, great. That's what I said. When I saw this recipe, I thought, my goodness, this is a very precise margarita. This is the top shelf of top shelf. So I am very excited, and I realized while you were talking, I didn't have the top off my agave. Now, I like you're straining it twice. Now, we did ours the same thing, fresh squeezed only, and strained it.
We make a little bit of a contraption here, the way we take half of the shaker with the pouring strainer and use that to hold the handle of the regular strainer so we can strain the lime.
It's great. We probably will see that perhaps with not a copyright, but a patent. We might have to see about having a guy, a girl on a trail lime straining contraption patent. Something like that.
When you're straining the lime, there's quite a bit of stuff that's left in the bottom. And all of that will just take some of the bitterness out of the lime. So when we pour it in, we just re-strain it right through again. And we are putting this in the small half of the shaker.
Okay. I'm using a single one right now, but I'm going to put that in with you. So I put my lime juice in.
All right, then we do tequila next. So we'll do 2 ounces of the Tapatio 110.
I like to be very precise so I use this shot glass. I have a couple different sizes, but they're different shot glasses that have really precise measurements on the side. And I basically use that instead of a jigger.
Yes, I have one I like too. Seems like once you get yours and it's yours and you're comfortable with it, it's the one you keep going to. But sometimes I revert to a regular Anchor Hocking measuring cup. So sometimes to make sure I got it.
So next we'll do the mezcal.
Here it is.
We have this Arlo measuring cup holds 4 ounces. It's half ounce increments up to 4. So I tend to just fill it to the floor because that's pretty much the liquors, but you don't need to do it all in the same cup.
Okay.
So we'll add our 1 ounce of the mezcal. And then we'll take Cointreau.
Cointreau,
That.
1 ounce. We tried a bunch of different orange liqueurs a couple of times, and the last round, have you heard of Paula's orange liqueur?
No.
I don't know. It's from Austin, Texas. It's a little sweeter maybe than Cointreau, but the orange comes out really well. Anyway, I don't know how many I've tried now, maybe 8 or something. I like Paula's and Cointreau.
We always end up back at the Cointreau.
I do too. And then a teaspoon, what are you putting in now?
That was just the liqueurs,
Okay.
the liquors. So the Cointreau, the mezcal, and the Tapatio.
Okay, great.
There, our little bar spoon here, which is a teaspoon.
Okay.
We'll take the agave nectar, which is 1 little bar spoon of it. The Nixta.
This is, it smells like, I'm not sure, elote? I'm interested to try that.
You can notice the corn scent on it. It definitely has something about it that you can notice that it comes from corn.
Yes. I love elote.
We do too.
Yum.
All right. We'll take the bitters and just 1 quick little dash. And again,
Well.
that is the chocolate bitters.
Yes. Aztec chocolate bitters. Pinch of
One
salt.
little, throw it in there.
Okay.
Ready for
So that's it.
ice?
We will put some ice in the shaker.
Oh, that'd be funny if I didn't have. Ready? All right. I'm going to shake as long as you shake.
Shake till the hands get cold. Make it feel frosty on the outside.
That's right.
Shake till you wish you weren't shaking anymore.
That's right.
So now we have two glasses ready to go. We typically use these highball type glasses with 3 ice cubes.
Okay. I'm going to put ice in my glass. Let me put some more in here. Oops. More, I guess. That'll work. Okay.
All right.
Ready?
And then just split it between the 2.
Okay. I might not have made that perfectly equal, but I'll take the big one.
So our last step is the Grand Marnier. So this is one I like a little bit more of a float than she does. So typically we'll do about 1/2 ounce in hers. I do 3/4 ounce in mine.
Okay. So let's see. I will go for the 3/4. Whoa. Maybe we'll put
we
the
tend
half
to
on
do
this.
Pour it over a bar spoon just to kind of diffuse it out a little bit.
That's a good
Not
tip.
critical.
Good, because I already dumped it.
That's okay. It'll still taste great.
I'm eager. I'm eager.
When you pour over the bar spoon, it basically helps it, kind of land in the glass a bit more distributed, so it has less of a chance of sinking straight to the bottom.
That's a great tip.
All right.
You might have noticed we don't salt the rim on our margaritas, and that's because we put a lot of salt into them.
Well, some salt, not a lot.
Sure.
Pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. Well, I didn't put salt on mine.
Are you ready to taste?
I am so ready. Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow. Wow. Let me do. I'm gonna have to process this. That is.
Definitely unique. You won't find anything
It
like
is.
it.
You will not find anything like it anywhere, and I would know. I really, really would know. It's very complex, but smooth, right? Yeah. And I'm surprised. I'm really glad I was able to use exactly the same mezcal you were using. I think we'll put this recipe down below in the description and link to you as well, because I know there was another mezcal that we could have used, but I'm taking another sip here because this is really a complex, it's good, but it's a grown up. It's a grown up margarita.
I would say that this lineup of the different ingredients that we've used is absolutely the story of us. It's definitely like if we were a handful of bottles thrown together and thrown into a glass, this is what it would be. A lot
Is
of
that
the Nix de Liqueur, the Grand Marnier, the bitters, like those are things that are very much what I think I brought to the drink, and Ryan brought in, the tequila and the mezcal and the agave. Like it's very much just who we are.
So it is unique to you then. It really is a guy, a girl, and a trail margarita. It really is, isn't it? That's really fascinating. I mean, I would never have thought to put bitters, let alone chocolate bitters in. Never, right? Who would have thought of that? Along with the Nixta, this is amazing. I'm really enjoying this. I'm still figuring out how to do this on a graphic, but when I started the hunt, I started a scale of 5 margarita glasses. So 5 is like the best margarita I've ever had in my life. 4 is a really good margarita. 3 is it's a good margarita. You would order it again in a restaurant, having your food. 2 is you wouldn't do it again. And 1 is it's so bad you don't want to talk about it. So that's the scale. And I'm going to say this is past a 4. If something, because it's just so complex and it's good, but it's not your normal, when you would tell someone this is a great margarita, they're going to be expecting a very different flavor profile, right? That's why I say it's a grown-up margarita.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have that argument ourselves of, probably shouldn't even be called a margarita.
I call it a margarita. I go through that all the time too. It's like, do you have to have fresh lime juice to be a margarita? I'm basically, if I think it's a margarita, it's a margarita. So it can be a cocktail, potato, patata, whatever. I am so glad you told me about this. Now, I want to know, how long have you been traveling together?
Well, about as long as we've known each other. So I would say 2.5 years.
Yeah, just about.
I am so impressed that you've come up with a recipe this complex in 2.5 years. This is impressive.
We make a lot
You drink a lot of margaritas. I love this.
Our kind of go-to local place is this Mexican restaurant called Natuo. and they have
Okay.
a fantastic selection of tequila and mezcal, but they have really good cocktails. And they made basically like a mule with mezcal, and it was so good and it was so unique. And we started just chatting with them about what they were doing, and they did some things in there that were pretty different. And one of them was adding a dash of the chocolate bitters. One of the other things they did was they started the drink with muddling a couple cucumber slices into the bottom of the shaker. And but that's what gave us the idea to try chocolate bitters. Played around with the amount. Like, wow, it's so subtle. You don't taste any chocolate or bitter, but it just affects that taste profile just a hair. But that was
It does.
some influence.
That's great. That's great. If you, we'll get the name of that, and we'll put them also in the description. And I'm always looking for places. I don't know if we have any in Colorado yet, but we've been making our own little treasure map of places, and we have some across the country. We didn't do so well in Alaska. I'll just say, just didn't find any brilliant. We just didn't. Not saying they don't have them, we just didn't find them. But we have Cozumel covered. So if you go into Cozumel, we'll tell you where to get a margarita, right? But depending on where you are, we have Texas covered for sure.
Yeah.
Heading to Miami soon. We're going to be doing a margarita hunt in Miami, and that's where we go around to different locations and we try margaritas and then do the whole thing. But I mean, I've had some great margaritas, which to me, great is a number of different factors, but overall it's something good. But also, as I think the more you try different tequilas and you become more familiar with these different flavors, you're looking for something like this that's just very different. It's not, you don't have one flavor standing out. It's smooth, it blends really well. So that's a great thing about the whole, y'all came up with it together. Two strong personalities.
It's amazing how easy drinking it is, considering you're using tequila.
And mezcal. No, I'm going to say you need to be off the grid for a while if you're going to drink all these, because nobody's driving. But again, it's not like you don't feel like you're hitting it back too much. And this is a good, right? This is, I believe we looked it up, Tapatio 110. This is additive free.
Yes.
Yep. Everything from Tapatio is fantastic.
Yeah, we tried it. We're learning. We still have a bunch up there, depending on who's using what. But so I guess tequila is just a part of your journey. Did y'all start off liking tequila already, or did you acquire the taste together? How did that work?
That was.
We acquired the taste together.
One of my friends, a former coworker of mine, him and his wife invited us up to this place, probably an hour north of us, called Wicked Tequila Room. And we went up there with him on a weekend, and neither of us had much experience with tequila. Tell the story about the girl from school.
Oh, one of the girls I came from Mexico. And she, there we were, college students, a bunch of girls would go out, and she would get so mad, all these Americans shooting tequila like it's nothing. She said, in Mexico, tequila is a beautiful thing that old guys sit around and sip on like it's whiskey, and that was sort of that first, it planted a seed for me, that tequila might be able to be something good enough that you don't want to just shoot it back. You don't want it to be gone. You want to sip on it and savor it. But I didn't know that might be something I could find here in the United States. I thought maybe one day I'll make a trip to Mexico where I can try some of these mythical tequilas she's talking about that are so good, But then up at this Wicked Tequila Room.
So they have a great selection of tequila as well. We didn't know that at the time. We just asked my buddy, what do you recommend? And he's like, oh, I like this. You should get this and try it. And so they had a thing where any pour you get, any shot you get, whatever, you can add a scorpion. And the scorpion is you eat the scorpion and then take your shot. So we're like, okay, obviously we have to do that once. So
Once and never again.
we got the scorpions and we got our shot, and we're looking at it and it's a full scorpion. It's got pinchers, it's got the stinger, and we just kind of held him by the stinger and ate the thing, and then did the shot, and it was really funny that we actually have it on video where she bites this thing, eats it, yells out an F-bomb, and then takes the shot, and then immediately just, oh, that's really good tequila. And I had the same reaction where, I ate the thing and kind of chewed on it a little bit longer. It was interesting. It was almost like the husk of sunflower seeds. Didn't really have a taste, but difficult to swallow because it's just dry and stringy. But yeah, ate that and then sipped the tequila, and it was like, wow, that's really, really good. And it turned out that was Fortaleza Blanco, and that was yeah, we have quite a few Fortalezas up there now. Single barrel and a few years of winter blend and still strength.
But basically, it was a tequila that was so good that even through the horror of what was happening in that moment, you could register, like, wow, that tequila's on another level.
And that's what set the tone. It was like from that point on, I'm like, I love this. And yeah. We lost your sound.
Lost your audio.
Okay. So the scorpion, that's where the critical part was about the scorpion. I said, so you said it didn't have much of a taste to it?
Yeah, it really didn't taste like much. I mean, she just, got rid of it as quick as possible. I kind of chomped on it for a while, but yeah, it was just kind of like the texture was like the husk of a sunflower seed. It was like a bunch of sunflower seed shells chewing on, which isn't the easiest thing to actually put down when it's just kind of dry and stringy.
So is this like a hot pepper challenge or something you're not allowed to? So you were allowed to drink your tequila, but not until you ate the scorpion.
Right.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, they even said a lot of people, the morning after when they're cleaning up, you find a bunch of little scorpions on the ground because people will get them. And, oh yeah, it's gone
Didn't
now.
say no.
I told.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, because I would have to have 2 of these before I would get into the, okay, we're going to go for yeah, Jenny's going to try the scorpion. Can be convinced this is going to be so good, Jenny. You have to have the scorpion first, because I was like, is that like, putting orange and cinnamon with a good añejo or something? Like, is it supposed to be complimentary, or is it just showing how, brave you are? That's bold.
One of those, it's one of those things where, I went to the restroom, I came back from the restroom, and he had decided, like, hey, I saw this on the menu, and I know you, Morgan, and you're gonna want to try this, you're gonna feel like, I have to do this, or I'll never be able to live with myself.
Double dare. You got it. That is amazing. Okay, so that is one. I mean, you've already shared a lot of great stories. What's your favorite place that you've traveled together?
Ooh.
I don't know. There's so many.
You know, we had a great time driving around Italy. That was a really
That's a good
fantastic
one.
trip to take together. We met each other through the automotive industry. Neither one of us works in the automotive industry at all anymore, but that's where we met. And to be able to be in a place that was such beautiful countryside, such beautiful history, but tons of great automotive, you know, lots of automotive history as well, some of the most iconic in the world. That was just kind of one of those things where, you know, we were happy.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah. So you had to switch from tequila to something else there. Maybe
We
wine,
had a surprise
vino.
Tequila in Italy. I mean, it's not their thing, of course. We all know that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, I'm not
never
sure.
good.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your favorite tequila? Do you have a different, you each have your own favorite tequila?
Yeah. Well, this is my new favorite tequila. This is Mikasa, and I love it. It's really beautiful. I'm always going to be more attracted to very elegant, delicate flavors on the palate.
Yeah.
Ryan is much more into the earthy things. So this is my favorite, but not necessarily his favorite.
That
Excellent.
is fantastic. Man, in terms of a favorite, I don't think I could narrow it down to one.
Okay,
there's,
that's fair. That's fair.
there's so many good ones. One of my top ones is the Cabalito Unicorn. That is fantastic. That one's not technically a tequila. In
Yeah.
order to be tequila, to be certified through the CRT and have an official nom, and they have lots of rules behind what can be called
Yep.
tequila. And that company, you say the actual full name.
Cabalito Serrero.
So it's what that translates to is like a horse without shoes, because it was part of the herd that split off and basically said we want to make instead of making what falls into the CRT's rules. So they have some really phenomenal stuff. I really like the Fortaleza Lot 150 Blanco. They made that one, you know, it's still a full-size lot.
Yeah.
It was just their normal production. They just changed it slightly. They distilled it down to 80 proof, and they let it ferment with some of the fibers of the agave after the extraction. Cascajuan Tahona Blanco is another that's fantastic.
He'll go forever. He'll go forever.
I still have Margarita left, so I'm all right. So I have one last question for you. One last question. Besides each other, and now me, if you could share a margarita with anyone, who would you share a margarita with?
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein. That's a good one. He won't know his phone number, but he can taste the tequila.
Oh wait, he has to be alive still? Hang on.
It open. I left it open.
Literally anybody that loves tequila. I'll make them one.
Yeah.
Of them.
That's good. That's broad. That's broad. That's good. We let a lot of people fit in that way. Well, I love meeting you both, Ryan and Morgan, and a guy, a girl, and a trail. I think it's great. I love the adventure. You certainly are adventurous. This margarita proves it. It is probably, I'm going to tell you, as we are starting, this is the best margarita I could have had to start 2024. This is perfect. It's just like everything that I'd want to experience in drinking, also tequila, but drinking margaritas. This is what really we're about, and getting to meet great people like you too. So thank you so much for spending time with us and being our first margarita of 2024.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers, salute. The hunt continues.